Okay guys, so I'm going to show you how to make pie filling. Guys, really, this is going to be an incredibly short video because it is so easy to make your own pie filling. I'm making I'm making an apple, cherry and raspberry one today, but you can do it with pretty much any fruit that you want to. So I've got some apples in here and I've got some orange juice. You can use water. I've got about 2 tablespoons of orange juice. And I'm going to add just a little bit more because now that I've got it in the pan, I can see I need a little bit more. Just enough to cover the bottom of the pan, guys. You don't need any more than that. And then once I've got these cooking, they're going to only cook for about 5 minutes or so. And then remember, they actually go into the this will go into the oven again, so it will cook further. So don't cook it, don't overcook it. You are literally just getting the fruit to soften a little so that the rest of the work gets done in the oven. So I like using frozen fruits just because I can keep them for a really long time, and I can just take out a few of when I want them. I don't have to use them on the day that I've bought them. So I've got some frozen berries here, and guys, remember, again, I'm making a lot more than your one pie, so it's going to be, there's going to be more in my pot than you. 1 apple, a handful of berries of each will be enough for your fruit pie. So I'm going to let that cook down. I'm going to pop the lid on just for a few minutes and then take the lid off. And I'm going to add, I don't like mine very sweet, but again, you do it to your taste. And I'm just going to add 2 tablespoons of sugar, and that is it. I'm going to let that cook down and I'll show you what it looks like when it's ready. While that's cooking, I'm just going to talk to you about a few other things. So I'm showing you how easy it is to make pie filling. But if you don't want to make the filling, or indeed when we do this in class, because we're concentrating on the short crust pastry, we don't make the filling and the short crust pastry in one lesson, depending on the year that you're in, guys. If you're in Key Stage 4, you probably will make the filling in school. But this is the thing that you can buy them from Tesco's, you can buy them from Waitrose. I know you can't get them from Sainsbury's, or you couldn't at one stage, so just double check. But it is so easy to make your own, guys. So just buy that. To make your own. But if you really don't want to, or we're making it in school, this one is a great substitute. You can get apple, red cherry, black cherry, and I think those are the only ones that you can get. So that's just for information. Then the other thing that I wanted to go through with you is the kinds of things that you can use. Now, I know that not everybody has the same equipment at home. So I will give you, I'll try and give you many options for every single thing that you have to make at home. And obviously in school, we have all this equipment for you. So you can just use one of these. I keep these if they're still in a really good condition. I keep them and I use them for other things. I would normally use this one for a savory one, but there's no reason why you can't use this one for pie. You can use an ordinary cake tin, so absolutely fine. Just know that if you use an ordinary cake tin, it is going to be difficult to get a really nice edge on your pie. You can use a pie dish, right? I have several pie dishes and I have metal ones as well. But you can absolutely use this, and this one works really well because you can actually push the pastry on the edges and there's less chance of the pastry sinking. So if you've got one of those, that's brilliant. Then I've got a selection of loose bottom tins, and if you, again guys, if you've got this, great. If you don't, please, there's so many other options that you can use, but the bottom comes out of it and it just means that you can serve it quite nicely. You do have to be careful about pushing the pastry into the edges. So I hope that gives you a few different ideas. Right, that's been cooking for about 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes now. I've taken the lid off because I do not want it to be too liquidy, guys. So I've taken the lid off so that we can get some of that liquid evaporated. The other thing that you can do, if all the liquid doesn't evaporate but your fruit is ready, I'm going to show you how you can fix that as well. You don't want it too much liquid in your fruit pie because that is going to be terrible for your pastry, and you will end up getting very, very soggy pastry, which is not what we want. So I'll come back when that's done and show you. Right guys, so it's done now, and you can see the pieces of apple are still holding their shape, but they softened slightly, and I promise you they will soften further when they're being baked. But now you can see, especially when you use berries, that you will end up with quite a lot of liquid. Now you can carry on cooking it until the liquid evaporates, but I actually like that it sort of makes a berry sauce for your pie, but this is too runny. And if you put that into your pie, it would just make your pie soggy. And this is what they actually do with these, is they thicken, and this is how you thicken it. So all I've got in here is I have got 1 teaspoon of cornstarch mixed with a little bit of water. And it's cornstarch, guys, not flour. Okay, flour, you're in danger of getting lumps. Cornstarch, not so much. Okay, the biggest thing about it is as soon as it goes in, you have to stir, and you have to stir constantly. Right, so you can see already the sort of whiter sections is where the corn flour has gone in, and now you have to cook that out just a little bit. And I'm going to increase the heat, and you will see how quickly it thickens. Right, so it's already thickened. Right, you can see it's no longer quite so runny, and I'm going to cook that for another minute or so. Right guys, that's done, and you can actually tell I actually had to add another half a teaspoon of cornstarch just because I know that it wasn't thick enough. But now you can see it's a completely different consistency, and it doesn't just run off the spoon. And the way in which you can tell that it's thick enough is if you just take your spoon, if you can see the bottom of the pan before it comes together again, it's thick enough, and it will cool down even more as it cools. So let that cool down now, because you can't put that hot fruit inside your pastry case. So I'm going to put that aside and let it cool. And that's that for fruit filling, guys. So all you have to do is make sure that you choose your fruit, thicken it a little bit if you have to, otherwise your pastry will be soggy. Done.